Number 10. Greyfriars Kirkland, Edinburgh, Scotland. Greyfriars Kirkland is one of the most spooky and atmospheric graveyards in the world. It is in the middle of Edinburgh, Scotland. With its dark history, it's no wonder that this place is said to be haunted by many ghosts. The graveyard was used as a burial ground for over 400 years, and during that time, many famous people were buried here, including economist Adam Smith and poet Robert Burns. However, it's the graveyard's more sinister history that makes it so creepy. In the late 16th century, Greyfriars was used as a burial ground for victims of the bubonic plague. Then in 1592, it became the site of a gruesome murder when a young boy named James Stewart was brutally killed by a gang. His ghost is said to haunt the graveyard to this day. Another ghost said to haunt the Greyfriars is that of George Mackenzie, known as Bloody Mackenzie, for his role in persecuting Covenanters during the 17th century. It's said that his spirit still wanders the graveyard looking for revenge. If you're looking for a truly creepy experience, a visit to Greyfriars Kirkyard is a must. Just be sure to keep an eye out for any ghosts that may be lurking about. Number 9. Highgate Cemetery, London, England. Highgate Cemetery is one of the most famous cemeteries in the world, and it is also one of the most haunted. This cemetery is located in London, England, and is said to be home to many ghosts and spirits. One of the famous ghosts that is said to haunt this cemetery is that of a woman named Anne Naylor. Anne was a young woman who was murdered by her husband in 1876. Her husband then buried her body in a shallow grave in Highgate Cemetery. Anne's ghost is said to haunt the cemetery, and she has been seen by many people. Another ghost that is said to haunt Highgate Cemetery is that of a man named George Womb. George was a famous circus owner who died in 1850. His body was brought to Highgate Cemetery, and his spirit is said to haunt the cemetery. George has been seen by many people, and he is said to be a friendly ghost. There are also many reports of strange noises and sightings of dark figures in the Highgate Cemetery. This cemetery is definitely one of the most haunted places in the world. New Orleans, Louisiana's St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 is one of the most famous cemeteries in the world, and it is also one of the most haunted. This cemetery is the final resting place of many famous people, including Voodoo Queen Marie Laveau. It is said that her spirit still haunts the cemetery and that she can be seen roaming around on moonlit nights. The cemetery is also home to a number of other ghosts, including a woman who wanders the grounds looking for her lost child and a man who committed suicide by jumping from one of the tombs. There have also been reports of strange lights and noises coming from the cemetery, and some say that it is because of the restless spirits that are said to haunt it. Number 7. Old Jewish Cemetery, Prague. The Old Jewish Cemetery in Prague is another famously haunted graveyard. It is said to be home to a variety of ghosts, including the infamous Golem of Prague. This creature is said to haunt the graveyard and has been known to cause a variety of disturbances, from strange noises to physical objects being moved around. The Old Jewish Cemetery is also known for its eerie atmosphere and dark history, making it one of the creepiest graveyards in the world. Number 6. Laurel Hill Cemetery, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Laurel Hill Cemetery is one of the most beautiful as well as one of the creepiest cemeteries in the world. It is located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and was founded in 1836. The cemetery is built on top of a hill and has gorgeous views of the city. It is also home to some of the most famous people in history, including John Adams, James Buchanan, Edgar Allan Poe, and Oscar Wilde. The cemetery is also home to some of the creepiest stories. One story tells of a woman who was buried alive in one of the graves. Her screams can still be heard at night coming from her grave. Another story tells of a man who was buried in a grave that was too small for him. His body was mutilated, and his screams can also be heard at night. Whether you believe the stories or not, Laurel Hill Cemetery is definitely one of the creepiest places in the world. Number 5. Christ Church Cemetery, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Christ Church Cemetery is one of the most haunted graveyards in the world. In this cemetery in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, many important people from American history are buried, including Benjamin Franklin and his wife, Deborah. However, it is also said to be a home to a number of restless spirits. People who have been to the cemetery have said that they have seen ghosts, heard strange noises, and felt an eerie presence. There are several theories as to why the cemetery is so haunted. One possibility is that it sits on top of a Native American burial ground. Another is that the bodies of victims of the 1793 yellow fever epidemic were buried here in mass graves. Whatever the reason, Christ Church Cemetery is definitely a place that should be on any list of the creepiest haunted graveyards in the world. Boot Hill Cemetery, Tombstone, Arizona. Boot Hill Cemetery is one of the most famous and well-known cemeteries in the world. It is located in Tombstone, Arizona, and is best known for being the final resting place of some of the most famous outlaws in history, such as Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and Johnny Ringo. The cemetery gets its name from the fact that it was originally used as a burial ground for those who died with their boots on, which was often the case with gunfights and other violent deaths. Additionally, Boot Hill Cemetery is a popular tourist destination and is one of the most haunted places in Arizona. Strange things have been seen and heard at the cemetery, including ghostly figures, strange noises, and even orbs of light. Some say that the ghosts of those buried at Boot Hill Cemetery are restless and still haunt the place where they meet their untimely end. Number 3. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, Bremen, Illinois. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is one of the most well-known haunted cemeteries in the world. The cemetery is located in Bremen, Illinois, and is said to be home to many ghosts and spirits. One of the famous ghosts that is said to haunt the cemetery is that of a white lady. The white lady is said to be the ghost of a woman who died during childbirth. She is often seen wandering around the cemetery looking for a child. Another ghost that is said to haunt Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is that of a man who was lynched. The man's body was left hanging from a tree in the cemetery, and his ghost is said to still haunt the tree. There are also reports of a black dog named Llama that roams the cemetery. The cemetery is home to over 7,000 graves, many of which are unmarked. It is also home to a number of famous residents, including Al Capone and Bugs Moran. The cemetery gets its name from the fact that it is built on top of an old Native American burial ground. The Native Americans believed that the site was sacred and that it would allow their dead to be resurrected. The cemetery is said to be haunted by a number of different ghosts, including the ghost of Al Capone. Visitors to the cemetery have reported seeing strange lights and hearing strange noises. Some people have even reported being pushed or pulled by unseen hands. If you're looking for a truly creepy experience, a visit to Resurrection Cemetery is a must. Number 2. Stull Cemetery, Kansas. Stull Cemetery is located on Stull, Kansas, and is known as one of the most haunted graveyards in the United States. It is believed to be the site of a number of supernatural occurrences, including sightings of ghosts and other strange phenomena. The graveyard is said to be the meeting place of the devil himself during certain times of the year and is thought to be the gateway to hell. Visitors to the cemetery have reported feeling an eerie presence, hearing strange noises, and seeing strange lights. Many believe that the cemetery is cursed, and those who visit after dark are likely to experience something supernatural. Whether you believe the stories or not, Stull Cemetery is an interesting and spooky place to visit. Number 1. Island Cemetery, Newport, Rhode Island. The Island Cemetery in Newport, Rhode Island is one of the creepiest graveyards in the world. This cemetery is located on an island off the coast of Newport, and it is said to be haunted by the ghosts of pirates and sailors who were buried there. The island is also home to a number of abandoned graves, which adds to the eerie atmosphere of the place. And that concludes Just Gotta Watch's Top 10 Haunted Graveyards of the World. Thanks for watching.